On September 14, 2025, history was written in Katsina with a rare gathering of the state's most distinguished personalities. It was a day when royal fathers, elders, politicians, religious leaders, technocrats, members of business community, former and serving security chiefs, as well as host of other eminent sons and daughters of the state from within and outside the country came together under one roof at the Presidential Banquet Hall of Government House, Katsina. Their mission was to deliberate on security, governance and the future of the state. The Deputy Governor of the state, Malam Farooq Lawal, set the ball rolling with a scintillating opening remark, outlining the remarkable milestones witnessed in the state within 2 years of current administration led by His Excellency Governor Malam Dikko Umaru Radda, PhD. These transformations were achieved in tune with the broad and specific objectives of the vision of the administration as contained in its well-documented Building Your Future blueprint. Malam Farooq Lawal confidently told the gathering that over 35,903 jobs have been created and all are actively working to strengthen peace building.
Out of the deliberate effort of the government to address the issue of insecurity was to provide jobs. Within the period under review, 35,903 jobs were created by this administration within the first 1 year in office. And these are the breakdown. Recruitment teachers, 7,325 were recruited and posted to both primary and secondary schools. We have also employed ward heads. We now have 6,650 of them in our payroll. Community Watch Corps, we have recruited the phase 1 and 2, and it's also ongoing. But within the phase 1 and 2 project, we have recruited 2,016 and trained most of them on payroll. We have also engaged 1,500 vigilante members across the state, and they are also on payroll. Engagement of 200 civilian hunters. We have also engaged 7,545 imams, naibin, and ladans across the 2,515 Jumu'ah mosques that we have in the state. We have also engaged ward, local government, and state security groups. Under this arrangement, we have enrolled 10,665 individuals, and all of them are on monthly payroll.
Urban renewal is reshaping Katsina, Daura and Funtua. Billions of naira were invested in roads and other infrastructure to improve lives and livelihoods of citizens. From the 24-kilometer eastern bypass to other dual carriageways and rural link roads.
Construction of Eastern Bypass Project was awarded at the cost of 74,949,980,212 naira 66 kobo, and phase 1 has been completed at the cost of 34,665,732,172 naira 49 kobo, and the contractors have been paid for the job they have executed. Dualization of Central Mosque to Kofa Kaura Road to Kidis Roundabout has been completed, and the sum of 4,606,659,259 naira 7 kobo has been paid. Design and construction of Kadanya Kunduru Radda Sakasa Gano Road within Majanwaya Spa Road, the sum of 36,245,066,748 naira 86 kobo has been expanded. Also, rehabilitation of Shargale Dizi Ngawa Road was awarded at the cost of 13,888,869,487,041 naira. Rehabilitation and upgrade of Tsohuwar Kasuwa Road was also done at the cost of 637,513,642 naira 81 kobo. Also, the dualization of Sokoto Road Funtua was awarded at the cost of 12,770,730,114 naira 48 kobo.
Education across Katsina State has seen a revolution under the visionary leadership of Governor Dikkoratda-led government. 160 new classrooms were built, 258 rehabilitated, over 7,000 new teachers recruited, 18,000 teachers trained, and 152 schools upgraded under the Agile project. Similarly, scholarships worth over 6 billion naira have supported over 174,000 tertiary institution students, including international sponsorships. In the agriculture sector, 400,000 bags of subsidized fertilizer were distributed each year, in addition to procuring 400 tractors, 4,000 irrigation pumps, and other implements for mechanized farming. In the same vein, goat rearing initiative was launched to empower women and herders.
I want to make it clear to all of you here that within last year and this year alone, the amount of fertilizer that we procured and distributed and subsidized to farmers was responsible for crashing the prices of food items, not only in Katsina State, across the Northwest. And it's also a record, undisputably, that no subnational government in Nigeria within the period under review has done 50% of what we did in terms of fertilizer and other inputs.
Healthcare transformation in Katsina State was accorded utmost importance. 260 ward-level primary health centers were built or upgraded. Modern hospital facilities introduced. State-of-the-art dialysis and diagnostic centers established, and pharmaceutical production unit created. The government is not resting on its oars, as it also expended 24 billion naira in payments of gratuities alongside wage awards, in addition to provision of palliative during Ramadan and other large-scale food distributions, among other social care programs initiated. Other efforts ranging from water supply projects, which gulf over 14.6 billion naira, to solar mini-grids, streetlights and energy upgrades, the Dikkoratda administration's footprint reaches every community.
Water is life, and in this sector, we have spent 5,880 million in construction, rehabilitation of dams and water schemes. The following have been achieved under this sector. 1. Completion of Danja Dam and Access Road. Rehabilitation of Musa Water Supply Scheme. Rehabilitation of Yashe As Dam in Kusada. Strengthening of the Ajwa Water Scheme with a 7.5 MVA, 33 kV, 11 kV transformer, a submersible pump, and 121 valves. Under our water supply and sanitation, under this program, 14.6 billion naira was spent, and key projects completed includes the provision of water supply to Tudum Matawale at the cost of 691 million, Sardauna Estate here in Katsina 785 million, Fatima Shema Estate 625 million, Ambassador Quarters all here in Katsina Metropolis 284 million, FMC area scheme 784 million, and Patagara locus and township at the cost of 1.3 billion naira.
The security challenges bedeviling the peaceful coexistence in the state was the crux of the stakeholders' engagement. And thus, no wonder Dr. Nasir Muaz Dan Musa, who is the Katsina State Commissioner for Internal Security, gave a hard-hitting presentation on the dynamics of banditry, kidnapping, and cattle rustling affecting the frontline and vulnerable areas, and the need for collective effort to address the menace. Dr. Nasir Muaz Dan Musa traced how insecurity spread across 25 local government areas and how the current administration responded with the Community Watch Corps, vigilantes, modern equipment, and joint operations with the military and security agencies. During the presentation, Dr. Nasir Muazu clarifies misconceptions on the issue of peace agreement with the bandits, emphasizing that the government does not initiate the peace agreements. Rather, the agreements were entirely community-driven and has so far been yielding results in Dan Musa, Jibiya, Batsari, Kankara, Kurfi, and Musawa as major highways hitherto closed are now open again.
How to sustain peace deal?
How to sustain the peace deal? People are of the opinion that how can these people be sustained? What we did is that wherever there's this peace deal, I used to mobilize the Jibiya Local Government Security Committee Chairman, Honorable Yusuf Suleiman Jibiya, because Jibiya has become a model. During their peace deal, the committee was formed with representatives from the bandits, from the traditional institution, from security operatives, from the elites, and community as a whole. Whatever happened, they contact each other with a view to solving it. They sit every month to review progress, and if there is any lacuna, they will rectify it. In fact, they are taking back the issue to the community to address it, and this is what is being replicated in each of the local governments. Each local government should establish this monitoring and evaluation consultative committee. I believe this has been done in Kurfi, in Dan Musa, Safana, and Bakuri. That of Batsari is becoming a better model because their committee has even started preaching to the bandits. This peace deal is not our doing, neither the government. The governor calls for it. It's the community because they are tired of this insecurity. It is the same thing that the bandits are tired. Hence, they resolve to enter into peace deal. As a leader, you ask yourself, what better things do you need than peace?
As a leader, what do you need? Peace.
When the floor was open for discussion, a cross-section of the stakeholders offer advices and suggestions on the various issues at stake.
Security, kama yadda muka sani, is a collective responsibility.
Security, as you know, is a collective responsibility. Nobody can do it alone, and it is a commitment that wins war, not weapon. No matter the number of weapons you have, without commitment, dedication, you cannot win the war. Government is doing its best. We too must do our best. As you have rightly said, it is the bandits who want the reconciliation. But we have to tell ourselves the truth. They are tired of this insecurity. We that give them information to come and kidnap people because of token amount. When are we going to stop? It is only when we stop that these things will stop. Government will procure all kinds of food, employ all whom it deems necessary. Unless we stop the passing of this information to criminals, the problem will not end.
Wallahi in ba mu taimaka ba wajen passing information din nan to these criminals, wallahi ba za a samu sauki ba.
Duk wanda ke gidan nan ya tambayi kanshi me yayi a ƙauyen su.
We that gathered here, we have to ask ourselves, what have we done in our communities? What contributions do we give towards addressing this menace? If you are contributing, you should maintain the tempo. If otherwise, you have to start now because the issue is community-driven. And secondly, this consultation meeting is appropriate. A lot of us do not know the efforts being made by government. They accuse the government of spending money on security without any plan. But we have to understand that, if not for the Security Watch Corps, only God knows the situation where we have found ourselves now. I'm advising Your Excellency, the Governor, that this type of gathering is just like a general meeting, but there's the need for setting up an elders committee or elders forum, which they can be contacted for advice whenever there's any problem. The committee members should be drawn from all sectors and not the civil service who will tell you what you want to hear. I even gave the parts of the terms of reference in the committee in my solution. I think this type of meeting should be organized once or twice a year. The committee should not be given anything except secretariat. Whenever there is a problem, members of the committee should be contacted for advice. Such committees exist in Kano, in Sokoto, and in most states. We should have this type of committee in Katsina. If we have this committee, everyone will offer advice and it will be kept in secret. Some advice on security are not offered in the public. Even the secretariat, the advice should be kept with utmost secrecy. My only take is that, as the Honorable Commissioner has said, which I appreciate, that the issue of informants, is it possible to carry out a geofencing of the targeted area to prevent cell phones from working? Secondly, can we use technology to deny any information to reach the culprits? I think we should use this. Next is reconnaissance. That is to get information about their location using drones, so that even if the culprits were given information, the drone will give their actual movement. If we get information of their locations and we do geofencing to stop them from receiving information and use drone to monitor them, I think the location will be known and we'll get to them.
The stakeholders also appreciated Governor Dikkorat's visionary leadership and the remarkable achievement recorded by his administration across infrastructure, education, healthcare, agriculture, and security within a little over 2 years of coming on board, pledging collective resolve to complement government efforts to confront insecurity, youth restiveness, and drug abuse in the society.
In short, there is a challenge which we are all overlooking. That is the issue of drug abuse among our youth. Whenever you go, wherever you go in Katsina and other local government, I take this again. In short, there is a challenge which we are all overlooking. That is the issue of drug abuse among our youth. Wherever you go in Katsina and other local government headquarters, you will see these youth pestering people during events. We will have to protect that if this trend is allowed to continue. We will have to project that if this trend is allowed to continue, the challenge they will pose will be more than that of bandits. What efforts should we put in place at the community level to overcome this problem? Already the governor has established a structure at what level. I think they should be given opportunity to initiate something that will carry along all the youth to be assisted to become useful members.
Responding to the discussions, Governor Dikko Umaru Radda acknowledges the challenges, saying his administration is open to constructive feedback.
We have done 2 to 3 things from the time of the tragic Mantau incidents where people were killed in a mosque while praying. I was on a sick leave when the incident occurred. Had to return. Alhamdulillah. I visited the village and interacted with the community. And I asked the Imam who was leading the prayer at the mosque when the incident happened. And he confirmed to me that 17 people were killed inside the mosque. 8 people killed outside the mosque, 19 houses burnt, and 76 people kidnapped. It took me 1 hour 40 minutes before I reached Mantau village from Marabak and Kara junction. Initially, I was told that the road is in deplorable condition, but I insisted on going. Even the security operatives told me that it was dangerous to ply the road. Known to them that I've already arranged with the local council chairman to provide about 50 motorcycles to convey us in the event that any vehicle stuck on the road will use the motorcycles. Anyway, after the incidents, a series of insinuations began to surface, especially on the social media, which of course I have watched and I have heard and read all that was said. Now, following the incidents, we decided to gather the available elders of the state to visit the president, inform him about the situation we find ourselves in the state. Perhaps some might think that we are not telling the president the real situation in the state. And this is one of the reasons why we allowed the committee of elders themselves to tell Mr. President the situation, even though I have been complaining to him on the issue severally. Thereafter, I decided to invite all who is who from within the state and beyond, both serving and retired technocrats, clerics, and traditional institutions, to sit together and tell ourselves the truth with a view to looking for a way out.
Governor Dikkorada reaffirms that since the inception of his administration, security is the bedrock of his development blueprint alongside education, agriculture, health, micro, small and medium enterprises support, and revenue generation.
I have a blueprint. About 2 years before I became the governor, after the gubernatorial primaries, I set up several committees which validated and fine-tuned the document. I want the people of the state to look back at the document and see how far we have gone in the implementation of what we promised to do in the document or otherwise in the areas of education, agriculture, health, MSME, revenue generation, and so on. We came up with about 8 points in that document, in which security was the number one priority. And at that time, we understood that we cannot tackle insecurity without the involvement of the community. That was why, before we assumed office, we engaged some lawyers to draft a law that would back us in establishing the Community Watch. As such, when we came on board in May, by October, we launched the first batch of Community Watch, because it is what we are called priority as a government. A lot of people are not aware of what we did in the security sector from our inception. That is why I keep telling people they thought I was not doing the right thing. And the issue of security is a collective responsibility, not for the government alone. It is an issue that requires everyone who has the means to contribute. We have seen the huge amount of money expended on security since our assumption into office. And despite what we are doing on security, this does not deter us from intervening in education, health, power, and so on. In fact, it does not stop us from executing all other things we promised to do in the state. As I speak to you now, the entire written project I approved in the state has money saved in the bank for its payment. Now the essence of our gathering today is to confide in you what we have done, all what we thought will bring lasting peace in the state. We are convening the meeting so that you share your views with us, your ideas to us on what you think will be the better way forward.
The governor announces plans to build 152 homes for displaced families in Jibia, alongside support packages, cattle, industrial tools, and business opportunities to repentant individuals for reintegration and peaceful coexistence to prevail in the state.
Na sha faɗa so da yawa
I've been saying several that I will not enter into peace deal with bandits. That I will not enter peace deal at the point of weakness, because that is what the teaching of Islamic religion ordained. And that is why we relentlessly embarked on the fight against the bandits. Thank God that if you look at my previous clips, you will agree with me that I said if any of these culprits surrenders and said he needs a peace deal, we will agree. And this is what is happening now in Katsina. As the Commissioner of Security said, we never seek the peace deal with any bandit. But it is what the bandits are agitating now. Anyway, the main issue is that we need your advice or other ideas, techniques to add to what we agree. However, from the look of things and from my point of view and from what is happening now in Katsina State, it seems all the states will enter into peace deal, because the areas that remain to enter the peace is Kankara, Paskali, Sabua and other parts of Katsina. In Kankara, if not for the ongoing operation in the area by the military, the peace deal will have taken place. It is currently ongoing in Paskali and Sabua. It has started, but it is yet to be concluded. So it's just like if the peace deal is completely done by the communities, we will come and do a holistic peace deal. And I want to start by making a sample with GBA local government. God in His mercy, through our international engagement, we have gotten a partnership with UNDP. We match the UNDP funds squarely. So we are about to launch the 152 houses built for those displaced by the banditry in the area. Already the bandits in Jibia had approached the government demanding that wherever the peace deal took place, they want their schools to be renovated, they want their veterinary clinic, they want their hospitals and roads, and empowerment for the youth who surrenders their weapons. I set up a committee under Yusuf Suleiman Jibia and directed the committee that any of the local governments in which the peace deal took place, they should assess their schools, hospitals, roads of that community to see what we can do immediately, so that we give them confidence that we mean what we said. I want to take GBA local government as a sample. Those who surrender their weapons be given empowerment, cattle for their livelihoods. And on the other hand, those who are displaced, we give them houses and capital to start business. If this sampling in GBA succeeds, I think it will encourage even those who are apprehensive with the peace deal to join the bandwagon. But there is no way I will assist bandits and leave the victims. We have to do it simultaneously, hand in hand, holistically and honestly.
Indeed, Governor Dikko Umaru Radda deserves kudos for his engagement. No doubt, it not only enables the stakeholders to feel a sense of belonging in the governance of the state, from security to development, from dialogue to action, but also affirms that Katsina State stands united at this historic crossroads, building a future of peace and prosperity for all.